Just imagine this for a second. I was 20 years old, my friends were busy scrolling through their phones, watching movies and arguing about cricket scores, and there I was, sitting alone in a tiny rented room, staring at my phone screen in complete disbelief. My bank account had just crossed $1 lakh for the very first time in my life. That single moment changed everything I believed about money, about myself, and about what was actually possible for a kid like me. My family wasn't living in extreme poverty. We weren't starving, but we were always just one emergency away from financial panic. My father worked a private job with a fixed salary that never seemed to grow. My mother managed the house with whatever was left, and I grew up watching my parents silently stress about bills, school fees, and EMS every single month. That environment planted something deep inside me, a hunger, a desperation, a burning need to never feel that helpless about money ever again. When I turned 18 and entered college, I thought a degree would be my golden ticket out of all of this. Everyone around me said the same thing: study hard, get good marks, land a good job, and your life will be sorted. But I started noticing something that nobody talked about openly. The guys who were actually making real money around me weren't waiting for a degree. They were doing things, building things, selling things, and learning things that no classroom ever taught. It was during my second year of college that I stumbled upon the idea of freelancing completely by accident. A senior in my college casually mentioned that he made $15,000 in a single weekend just by designing logos for small businesses online. I remember thinking he was either lying or extremely lucky, because $15,000 was more than what my father sometimes brought home in a month. But curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to find out if this was actually real. I had zero professional skills at that point. I couldn't code, I couldn't design, I couldn't write professionally, and I had no idea what freelancing platforms even were. But I had one thing that most people underestimate completely. I had time, and I had an obsessive willingness to learn. I spent the next 3 weeks doing nothing but watching tutorials, reading articles, and practicing basic graphic design on a free version of Canva, and later on a cracked version of Photoshop that a friend shared with me. My first project on Fiverr was a complete disaster. I spent 6 hours designing a logo for a client, delivered it proudly, and got a 1-star review because I completely misunderstood the brief. I was embarrassed, I was frustrated, and for about 2 days I genuinely convinced myself that this path wasn't for me. But then I did something that changed my entire approach. I went back, read every single negative review on my profile and on other beginner profiles, and I used every piece of criticism as a free masterclass in what clients actually wanted. Slowly, painfully slowly, things started to shift. My second order went better. My third one got a 4-star review. By my fifth project, I had my first 5-star rating and a client who came back to me for a second order. Every small win felt massive because I had built it from absolute zero, with no connections, no money, no mentor, and no safety net. Each dollar I earned online felt 10 times more valuable than anything I had ever received as pocket money. By the time I was in my third semester, I was consistently making between $8,000 to $12,000 every month from freelancing on the side. To most people, that might sound small, but for a college student with no expenses beyond chai and internet recharge, that money felt like pure freedom. I opened my first savings account with that money. I bought my own data plan for the first time without asking my parents, and I felt a kind of independence that I had never experienced before in my life. But here is where the real story gets interesting. I wasn't satisfied with $12,000 a month. I started studying the profiles of top-rated sellers on Fiverr obsessively, analyzing what they offered, how they priced themselves, how they wrote their descriptions, and how they communicated with clients. I realized I was undercharging massively. I was undervaluing my own work, and I was attracting low-budget clients because I had positioned myself as a low-budget option. So I made a bold decision. I deleted my cheapest packages and raised my prices by 300% overnight. The first week after raising my prices, I got 0 orders. The silence was terrifying. Every hour that passed without a notification made me question whether I had made a massive mistake. My mind kept telling me to go back to the old prices, to play it safe, to not get too ambitious. But I held on. I improved my portfolio with 3 new sample designs, rewrote my entire profile description, and added a professional profile photo. And on day 9, my first high-ticket order came in at $4,500 for a single logo. That one order broke something open in my mind. I realized that the market wasn't the problem. My positioning was the problem. People were absolutely willing to pay good money for good work. I just had to show up as someone worth paying. Over the next 2 months, I refined my niche, focused only on brand identity design for small Indian businesses, and started getting referrals from happy clients. My monthly income jumped from $12,000 to $35,000, and I remember staring at my earnings dashboard one night feeling like I was dreaming. Around this time, something unexpected happened. A client from Dubai contacted me directly through Instagram after seeing a design I had posted as a case study. He wanted a complete brand kit for his new restaurant: logo, menu design, social media templates, and business cards. He offered me $22,000 for the entire package, which was more than I had ever made from a single client in my life. I stayed stayed up for 3 nights straight working on that project. And when he paid and left a glowing testimonial, I felt like I had crossed an invisible line. By the end of that college semester, my total savings had crossed $60,000. I could feel the 1 lakh mark getting closer, and the energy around that number was electric for me personally. I took on 2 more brand projects, completed a social media design package for a local startup, and did a rush logo project for a wedding planning business that paid me 8,000 for a weekend's work. And then one Tuesday evening, sitting in the same tiny room where I had started this entire journey, I checked my account and saw the number $1,03,000. I didn't scream. I didn't jump around the room. I just sat there very quietly for about 10 minutes, completely still, letting that number sink into every part of me. Then I called my mother. I didn't tell her the exact amount right away. I just asked her how much the electricity bill was that month. And when she told me, I said, "Don't worry about it, I'll pay it." The silence on the other end of the phone, and then a soft, "Really?" from her. That was worth more than any amount of money in any account. People always ask me what the secret was. What was the one thing that made the difference? And honestly, the answer isn't a hack or a trick or some secret platform nobody knows about. The real answer is embarrassingly simple. I started before I was ready. I failed faster than everyone else. I listened to feedback instead of ego. And I stayed consistent when every voice inside me said quit. Most people are waiting to feel confident before they begin. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. If you are sitting right now feeling like your situation is too limited, your skills are too basic, your background is too ordinary, I want you to hear this clearly. I had a cracked software, a free Canva account, a second-hand phone, and a Wi-Fi connection I borrowed from my neighbor some nights. Your resources are not your limitation. Your decision to begin is the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be. Every single person who has ever built something real started from a place that looked nowhere near enough. The journey from 0 to 1 lakh taught me lessons that no college course, no textbook, and no motivational seminar ever could. It taught me that money follows value, not desperation. It taught me that your price is a reflection of your belief in yourself. It taught me that the online world is the single greatest equalizer that has ever existed, where a 20-year-old from a middle-class family in India can compete with and beat professionals from anywhere in the world purely on the quality of their work and the strength of their communication. So here is what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not after you finish one more course, not after you feel more prepared. Right now, I want you to pick one skill that genuinely interests you. Spend the next 21 days learning it with complete focus. Build 3 samples even if nobody asked for them, put them online, and charge for your work from day one. The first lakh is always the hardest, but once you cross it, something shifts permanently inside you, and the path to the next milestone becomes clearer than you can imagine right now. I was just a 20-year-old kid with no connections, no capital, no special talent, and no guarantee that any of this would work. But I made one decision that separated me from every other person in my situation who dreamed about financial freedom but never moved. I decided that waiting was more dangerous than trying. And that one decision led to a lakh, and that lakh led to much more. And this journey is still going. Your story is waiting to be written. The only question is whether you will pick up the pen today. If this story connected with you, if it sparked even a tiny flame of belief inside you, then do one thing right now. Share this video with one friend who needs to hear this today. Because sometimes one video, one story, one moment of genuine connection is all it takes to completely change the direction of someone's life. Thank you for watching until the very end. It means everything. And I will see you in the next one with something even more powerful.